How is everyone this morning? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, it was a little chilly out there this morning, huh? Better than yesterday, but still a little chilly. I was surprised when I opened the door this morning. Did you think it was cold out there? Yes, it was. How was everyone's week? Good. Well, at least one person in the room had a good week. So, well, thank you for being here with us this morning. I want to extend our thanks to our online community that's tuning in this morning via live stream. We're so appreciative that you take of your Sunday morning to be here. Hopefully, it is a win-win. We win by you being here, and you win by being here, getting your spiritual nourishment for the week. We were just talking earlier that Sunday historically is the first day of the week, not the last. So, you know, getting out and getting to your spiritual home and getting your spiritual food is a great way to start your week off. So we appreciate that. You did? Oh, we got a chatty one this morning. I love it. I love it. I love it. The rest of you don't have to say anything this morning. She will fill the void. I have good news, and you will really appreciate this. It is National Strawberry Ice Cream Day. Strawberry ice cream, yes. Yeah. So I think at some point today, Mom and Dad will have to stop and get strawberry ice cream, and the rest of you can indulge in that as well. It'll be a great little treat for yourselves. So let's just take a breath. If you've already had a busy morning, I invite you to just step back from everything that's been going on and just relax into your space there where you're at, whether you're here physically in a seat or whether you're at home. Just relax into your space, take a couple of nice deep breaths, and I want you to physically go, feeling those shoulders drop, feeling any tension just fall away. And today's daily word is focused on the idea of world peace. I don't know about you, but that is certainly a vision that I hold all the time, constantly thinking about world peace and affirming that. The affirmation is, I rest my heart in the peace of God. So if you'd like to say that with me, I rest my heart in the peace of God. So around the world, so many souls are joining me in the prayer for peace. While the news may give more attention to points of conflict, there is a striving and yearning in the human heart for peace. My prayer supports that desire and strengthens the bonds of love that lead to greater harmony. I begin my affirmation of world peace with a soft and open heart. I am comforted as I realize the advances the world's people have made over the generations to live together harmoniously. I make an effort to live a more peaceful life and bridge the gaps of understanding between myself and those around me. I focus my attention upon our shared desire, a peaceful world of cooperation and goodwill. This is my heartfelt prayer. In Isaiah 26:3 says, "Those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you." So just breathe that in this morning. This feeling of peace, having the peace within us, connecting with that peace within us, allows us to operate in that throughout the day and extend that into our world and have that rippling effect so that we might manifest peace on earth. And we say, thank you, God. Before we have the kids up, I have a couple of quick announcements. I just want to let you know that the 40-day abundance journey began yesterday with an orientation session, but it's not too late to join that if you'd still like to be a part of that. They're meeting every night via Zoom at 8 o'clock. You can go to the website on the events calendar, find it there, it's on every day, and click on that and register for it so that you can get the Zoom link if you want to join that class. It's going to be really good. That is led by Terry. Terry, can you raise your hand or stand up there? If you got questions, please see her. And then secondly, This Wednesday is the second part of our How to Harness the Power of Your Mind at 6:30, and you can also do that one via Zoom, or you can be live here, and they can still join that as well, right?
Yes.
So we started part 1 last week. This Wednesday is the finishing of it.
Yeah, the final class.
But you can get the notes on the website under the resources tab. You'll see the How to Harness Your Mind there. You can get the notes from last week. If you'd like to join us, again, register there, and we'll get you a Zoom link if you want to do it that way, or come on out and be with us in person. But that's Wednesday night at 6:30.
Very good. Yeah. Did you get all that? How you feeling? Hey, it's good to see everybody. We're going to invite the children to come on up front. If you'd like to.
I know who'll be first down. Yes, come on.
Come on down.
Got it.
Yeah. Do we have any others? Want to come out?
All right.
God is. And I am. I create. And I pray. And I act on the truth that I know. God is, and I am. I create, I pray, and I act on the truth that I know. There is only one God. There is only one love. All right. Who says you have to sing on the beat? Somebody just made that up anyway.
I don't know. I think you're supposed to sing on the beat. Yeah, I think that's a consensus.
All right, we're going to send you guys off to your class. You ready to go?
You
did? Oh, good. Well, keep doing that. All right. Right back there is your teacher
Mr.
for
Gary.
today, Mr. Gary. And Gary, you might have to come up here. Introduce yourself. We're gonna do a statement for you guys, a little prayer. We love you. We bless you. We behold the Christ in you. We appreciate you. And we bless your teachers too. Let's give them a hand this morning. Yay!
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Gary.
All right.
Everybody is welcome.
You guys want to go with him? All right.
Say, if we have to.
Follow the Pied Piper. You need a flute.
That may be Unity ministers in just a few years. You never know. They like the limelight. That's good. How is everyone this morning? I know I asked, but some others have joined us, so I'll ask again. Everybody doing well this morning? So last week we started a series on the 5 Unity principles, and we put an acronym out there for you to help remember them. Do you remember what that acronym is? Yes, the first 2 letters are the same.
OOMPA.
OOMPA! So when you think of the 5 Unity principles, just think of Willy Wonka and the little Oompa Loompas, and you'll have it. So yes, the first 2 are the same. The first one we talked about last week, which was omniscience. And it was the idea that God is everywhere, all present, all good, all the time.
It's actually omnipotence.
Oh, I'm sorry, omnipotent. Today is
omnipresent.
Omnipresent. Omnipresent.
You're close.
Omniscient. There's a lot of O's.
A lot of omnis there. Yeah.
A lot of O's. So yeah, last week's idea was that God is good. God is what we might think of as just the energy of unconditional love. the highest feeling that you can possibly think of, we have given a verbal word to as being love. And that's what God is. So today's second O is the idea that our essence is of God, therefore we are inherently good. This spark of divinity is in everyone. Say that with me. In everyone.
Except. No, I'm just kidding.
In everyone. This is where we get kind of tripped up in this. We think, yeah, I know I'm good and it's in me, but what about so-and-so? I have a hard time seeing the goodness of God in him, right? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So last week was about the nature of divinity. This week it's about the nature of humanity. So God is love. Our spirit essence is born from love. Genesis says that God created humankind, and then he said, it is a sinful, awful creation that I have made. No! Nobody's disagreeing with me there. No, God.
I hadn't read it.
Wow. God created and called it good. God said, it is good. He didn't look at that creation and say, oh my God, what a mess. Well, he wouldn't say that anyway, would he? He didn't say, oh myself, what a mess. So we're not conceived in original sin, but in original blessing, in the likeness and image of God, the essence of unconditional love. Nowhere in the Bible, and James always says, bring it to me if you can find it, does it say that we are born sinners. It doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that you're born good until you reach a certain age of responsibility and then you become a sinner. It doesn't say anything like that. We are born inherently good, all of us, everyone. So I walk in this existence as both a human and divine. I am human, I am divine. We can hold both of those places at the same time as one. It gets tricky sometimes when we want to fall off into too much one way or the other. It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because we have to keep our humanity, we have to keep our compassion and the things that we have to do to traverse this incarnation, but we can never lose hold of our divinity, our divine essence. So we have the personal self and the divine self, and the divine self is what expresses through us as God, as the Christ. So every time you meet someone, you are meeting God. God is showing up in that person, expressing as them, right? So spiritual growth is when our concept of self changes and grows as we get an understanding of things and as we practice our spirituality. Have you come to figure out that you don't get the whole thing in just one dump and you're through? Right? It's a practice. It's walking it out in shoe leather every day, really every moment. Moment by moment by moment, we're making the choices, we're making the proper responses to things, or not, part of that human experience, right? But we're walking it out in shoe leather, and that is practicing our spirituality.
And it can be shoe leather or shoe plastic, depending upon your shoes. So, the perfect Spirit of God is my spirit. The perfect Spirit of God is my spirit. Let's say that together. The perfect Spirit of God is my spirit. God is the Holy Spirit that is in you and is perfect. Souls are innocent, pure, and filled with potential. This spirit or divine self calls us to a higher way of life, a higher way of life. The personal self is concerned about all the horizontal stuff, which is important. But the spirit self is concerned about more than that. the bigger picture. Do we have any big picture people here? Yeah. So this inner spirit guides us to the truth as we are open to it. As we are open to it. Because what you'll find in life, you'll meet people maybe from a different background, spiritually or religion or whatever, and you talk with them and you realize that they basically have the same beliefs that you do. I know I was giving a class one time at Furman on what does unity believe. And I had several folks come up to me afterwards and say, yeah, that's what we believe, you know. Some were from the Hebrew temple. Some were from, various other belief systems. They said, that's exactly what we believe, you know. And so the Spirit of truth is in all of us. And when we understand it, there's this golden thread of truth that is, intertwined and that runs through all people and all religions and the whole world.
Yeah, but what about them?
What about them?
You mean them too?
Well, not everybody is going to see it the way you do, right?
Yeah.
But there will be those on your journey that you will meet who are where you're at in the moment, right? They're your peeps. Look at the person next to you and say, you're my peep, right? So I am spirit. I am love. Everybody's looking for love out here. Let's say together.
Yeah.
I am love.
I am love.
Okay, I'm what I'm looking for. And see, when you get that, then you don't get caught up in this constant seeking of somebody, somewhere, please love me. Hold me, kiss me, take care of me, right? That's your job. That's my job, because I am love. I am love. Now, it's wonderful when you have somebody to come along with you on your journey and you share together and you partner up with somebody. That's wonderful, right? But you are complete in and of yourself. And that's what we need to remember. I have everything within me to be completely and totally whole and well. If you believe that, say, yeah, that's right. Thank you. So, you might say, James, well, if we are love, if that's what I am, if I am spirit, then why don't we have heaven on earth? Right? You ever asked yourself that? Well, there's this little thing called free will. You heard of it? Means you have a choice. Everybody has a choice on how or what they want to express. You can express this divine nature, or you can block it. And you can live another way. How many understand that in unity we tell people misery is optional? Right? Misery is optional. You don't have to necessarily be miserable all the time, especially when you have a choice in the matter. And I'm here to tell you that you do. So you need to empower yourself and say, okay, I have a choice on what I think about. I have a choice on how I feel. I have a choice on what I say, what I do, where I go, the people I hang out with. It's up to me. And I can make myself miserable, or I could do something different. Does that make sense? 'Tis up to you. Tell the person next to you, say, it's your choice. Now, if you look around, you notice that all of us here, we all have a covering. We all have a covering. We all have a physical body that we're in right now. And so you can't really see the Spirit. You can't see that invisible essence of love that we are. Well, sometimes you can. Sometimes if you look close enough and you pay attention, you can see it peeking out those eyeballs, right? You can see the compassion. You can see the expression of love in physical form. Someone who cares for others, somebody who reaches out to others, somebody who stands with you in your life. Well, that's that divine nature showing up. And that's what we want to begin to lean toward more and more and more in our life. And we want all of our lives to be informed by this divine self. Does that make sense? Now, because we all have this shell, you are the being that is within the shell. So it's just like walnuts. Okay? You're the nut inside the shell. Tell the person next to you, say, I'm a nut. It's my true identity. Right? But you know, all the delicious stuff is always on the inside, isn't it? Think Oreo cookies. Or oranges. Watermelons. You know, all of these things have coverings, don't they? And we have to peel the banana to get to the fruit on the inside. And that's the way life is. You have to go beyond the outer and get inside and see what's in there. Make sense? You have to go deeper. Let's say together, let's go deeper.
Let's go deeper.
Thank you. So not only am I the nut on the inside, but I'm also the light. I am the light. Jesus said, you are the light of the world. And don't hide your light. A lot of people think they're the lampshade. All right? They think they're the lampshade. They don't realize that you are the light of revelation, the light bulb of radiant light. That's who we really are. Isn't that something? You know, I looked up the word revelation. One time I did several times I've done a study in the book of Revelation. It's not Revelations, it's the book of the Revelation. Say with me, ooh, ah, oh, oh. And the word is apocalypse in the Greek. And so a lot of people go, ooh, the apocalypse is horrible. It's terrible. It's the end of everything. It's the explosion. It's the darkness. It's the evil. You know, can you say evil with me? Evil. But actually, the word apocalypse, you know what it means? It is the revealing. The revealing. So whatever is on the inside will reveal itself. Isn't that interesting? It's not the end of the world. It's the revealing. It's the revealing.
So, you know, you were talking about the idea of the nut, the banana. So really, there are different kinds of people in the world, but there's basically two kinds of people. There are those that are the sleeping beauties, that they're slumbering around in their unconsciousness, and then there are the ones that are awakening. And when I think of that analogy of the fruit or a nut within a casing, there are some fruits that have a really soft, edible skin, right? Like the apple or the cherry or the pear. And then there's the one that you have to peel, like the orange or the lime or the lemon. And then you have your coconuts.
Yes.
Has anyone ever tried to crack a coconut? That's even harder than a walnut, I think.
It's very difficult.
So it's like we are surrounded by people who are either of the been through some work and so the skin is a little thinner and it's edible, or they're doing the work and the skin is peelable, or they've not yet awakened to anything and they're as hard as the coconut. We every day we encounter people.
I've known some coconuts.
Yeah, me too. But there's a beautiful story in Jewish mysticism that I love about the great artisan who decides to pour melted gold into a form to create a beautiful piece of artwork. And when the gold is poured into the form, unfortunately, it cracks. And when it cracks, all the flecks of gold go flying. and they're distributed all across the universe. And when those gold flecks are distributed across the universe, they land and they collect dust and earth and decay, and they become covered in husks. This is their creation story, actually. They become covered in husks. And our opportunity every day is to encounter souls covered with husks and do something to help ease a little bit of that husk covering off. That's our journey through this life, through kindness, through loving kindness, through practicing our spirituality and coming from that Christ nature. We can help remove the husk, or, help aid people from going from that coconut state to the orange state, right? To the really hard, crusty outer, to something that's a little softer.
So, in other words, are you peelable?
Are you peelable? Yeah. Are you peelable? But I love that story because it reminds us. So close your eyes for just a moment and think of the most, in your life, think of the hardest person or the most evil person or the most treacherous person that you can think of. And now imagine them as being cased in that husk, and what might happen and how they might look if that husk were to fall away. Because on the inside of that husk is the golden fleck that is you, that is I. So if you peel that away, can you see the gold standing there before you? That's our opportunity. That's our opportunity with everyone we meet, is to say, okay, you're showing up like this lampshade, and I don't particularly care for that lampshade. If you looked like the lampshade that I like, maybe I could tolerate you a little bit better, right? We get so hung up on the exterior, on the lampshade, what the lampshade looks like, that we forget that there is a light in there, regardless of how well it is hidden, how hardly or firmly it is encased. There is a light within. Even the worst person that you can think of, there is still that light within. And that's why we are one. It is that connection of the light. What's in you is in me, that light. So in the Sleeping Beauty story, everybody's familiar with that story, right? There was a wicked witch who fed a poisoned apple to Snow. Oh, that's right. No, that's the Snow White story. In Snow White, the wicked witch fed the poisoned apple to Snow White. And so Snow White in that story is the soul. And the tainted apple represents you might say the trickster aspect of the mind, or the little e, the little ego. The tainted apple is the misunderstanding about things. It's what truly feeds us. And so we take in poisoned apples all the time, don't we? Think about it. We do it through our conversations. We do it through what we hear on network television. We do it through what we read, to what we pay attention to. We ingest those poison apples spiritually, and it winds up poisoning our soul. That's why it's so important to feed upon the good things. And I'm not saying that you don't watch the news to stay informed, or that you don't watch your favorite television show that's a little, whatever, because we understand. But it's the constant feeding on the negativity. It's the constant poisoning of our soul with those things that we want to get away from, and being careful about what we allow into our eye gates and our ear gates, and what we allow to come through our mouth gate, because we can be active participants in all of that, can't we? So the question to ask yourself is, are you awake, or are you asleep? Or are you awakening? Most of us are awakening, right? So the word, we talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago when we had the Q&A about the word evil. Evil in the Bible means calamity or trouble. The devil, the doer of evil, the creator of trouble. is anyone that creates calamity and is out of alignment with his or her own soul. So we talked about the word devil. If you look at that backwards, it's lived. It's anybody who lives backwards from that Christ nature is a devil, is a doer of evil. Troublemakers who walk around stirring the pot. They operate out of a sense of fear and confusion, and they're very narcissistic. This is the trickster mind. Don't be of the trickster mind, right? Your biggest challenge is not the troublemakers out there, but how you think about them and respond to them. Did you hear that? Would you like me to say that again? Your biggest challenge is not the troublemakers out there. It's how you think about them and how you respond to them. So Philippians 2:5 says, let the same mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus. Let us come from that Christ mind, that Christ energy, that goodness, that golden fleck. And Jesus was the model or the example of living an enlightened life. Charles Fillmore, one of the Unity pioneers, one of our co-founders, said, our Bible plainly teaches that God implanted in man his perfect image and likeness. He implanted in man his perfect image and likeness with executive ability to carry out all the creative plans of the great architect. I think that's pretty special.
Yeah. So what is the ultimate plan? Did you know there was a plan? There's a divine plan that's in operation, that's in the works. And the ultimate plan of divinity is the kiss of awakening. The kiss of awakening. How do you like to be awakened in the morning? Are you the kind of person that you need like really loud noises going off and you need the blah, 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 you know, of your alarm clock going off? Or does your beloved come in with a cup of hazelnut tea or coffee or whatever it is and kisses you on the cheek? Hello, dear. Are you ready to wake up yet? Are you ready to get out of bed?
So is that what I have to look forward to tomorrow morning?
I was thinking this was the other way around. So how do you want to be awakened? It really is a choice. You can allow the softness of spirit to work with you. Or if you don't pay attention to the whispers, then the whispers get a little louder. And it gets a little noisier, and then you start to hear, you know, the train is coming, and the blaring of the noise out of here, and it's getting so loud. What's going on? What's going on? So the key is to learn to be subtle on the inside and quiet, have a quiet spirit. So that you're really paying attention to what's happening in your life. You're not a victim of circumstances, okay? You can choose to work with whatever shows up, to work with it, and to turn it into something positive, something good, right? We all have that, don't we? Now, I know some people have come from some really hard, horrible, awful places, right? But once you begin to empower yourself, the darker that it is, the greater the light. The darker the darkness, the greater the light. Isn't that wonderful? And so that's why it's important for us now to start on this journey and to really be aware, to be awake and pay attention to what's really happening in our lives. We want to get in alignment. As long as we stay in that troublemaking stage where everything is just trouble, where the trickster keeps deceiving us into thinking that we are less than, we stay asleep. We stay asleep. We're cute, but we're asleep. right?
And it's probably important to note that throughout our journey, we have awakened states and we have asleep states.
Right.
We
we have
move in
our
and out of
moments.
this. Yes, we
have
move
our
in
moments.
and out of this.
Yeah. Sometimes we fall back asleep. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stated, "The aftermath of nonviolence is the creation of the beloved community." In the scriptures, it talks about in Isaiah about laying down weapons of warfare, turning your, weapons into plowshares. And what is that saying? What that really is saying, it's time for us to drop our defensiveness and our judgments and our fears that are causing us to be in battle with life and to be in battle with people, instead of just surrendering to that higher consciousness, that divine self, and allowing it to move through us. I love the idea of the beloved community that King refers to. The beloved community is inclusive and allows us to make positive connections with each other and to share our burdens. Because sometimes, in our lives, things get heavy, don't they? And we need somebody, We need somebody that can be there for us to share that burden and to help us through, to walk through it. That's why we have this beloved community. That's why we're here. We're here to support each other, to encourage each other. That when you're down, we're not going to beat you up because you're down. We're going to help lift you back up, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. Love, belonging, and connection are the universal sources for a true sense of well-being. A true sense of well-being. I long, as does every human being, to be at home wherever I find myself. Home is ultimately not about where you live. It's not your location. Home is inside of you, right? And you want to learn to be at home wherever you are. Wherever you are. Home is about a loving relationship. It's about community. It's about belonging. Belonging with each other. See, I don't belong to Leah. She doesn't belong to me. We belong with each other. Does that make sense? And so this principle tells us you matter. You matter. You are empowered. You are the one who takes the reins of your life. And are you going to make mistakes? Absolutely. Are you going to fall down? Of course. But you get back up because you know that divine power is at work inside of you. And we believe and teach that it is through this enlightened work that we do that we make a difference in the world. Through our spiritual practice and through our practice of socially, acting upon our truths, acting upon our hunches and intuitive guidance. See, the positive changes that you make in your life affects the whole world. Did you know that? When you begin to change and you begin to grow, there's a bird that learns a new song. There's less evil in the world. There's less illness in the world. There's a child that is healed just because you have changed just a little bit, right? Because one person affects the whole. You understand what I'm talking about? We're all connected. That's what we talked about last week. We are all one. We're in this together. It's a relationship. And we're on board the ship, aren't we?
I think one of the best gifts that you can give to another person is to see them with new, fresh eyes every time you see them. Because what happens is we get a feeling and a picture of who they are and how they are, and that's what we hold them to. And so it's important to remember that people are constantly evolving and changing and growing. And if I see someone and I'm holding them to the old standard, that is so unfair, right? They are changing, they are growing. I need to see each person I meet with new, fresh eyes rather than going, oh, well, here they come again. I know what this is going to be all about, right? New and fresh eyes. Such an important gift.
You're holding a vision for them in place.
My goodness,
you're keeping them
if people held me
place.
to the picture of who I was 20 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 days ago, right?
Yeah. How many will give us 5 more minutes? 5, 10, 15, 20. Thank you. All right.
So you stick around here long enough, you learn not to do that. You just don't raise your hand.
Once you start to deal with your fears and your emotional baggage in your life, then you become better suited to be in community, right? With the rest of creation. You become a blessing, a way shower, a healer. And you start waking up to your soul's true purpose. Here's what you need to ask the universe. What is my soul's true purpose? And expect an answer. And it'll start to come. A book will show up. You'll meet somebody. Something will happen. You'll show up in unity. Andre Lord said, it is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. You know, there were 2 men had an ongoing argument about whether Jesus was white or black. The one was absolutely positive that Jesus was white. The other was absolutely sure that Jesus was black. And as fate would have it, they both died on the same day. And they both rushed into heaven to find out if Jesus was black or white. And about that time, Jesus walks in and says, Buenos dios, señores. Is it all really white or black? Is it all black and white? No, it's really beige. So I want you to, this is white. Am I white? What color am I? I'm more beige, more pink. I'm on the spectrum of brown. We're all either lighter shades of brown or darker shades of brown. We're all on the same spectrum, on the same scale. Isn't that interesting? Wow. MLK, which we're celebrating his birthday this weekend, love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. In Unity, we believe that we are here to bring about a world that works for everybody. And you and I make that difference by showing up and living from our soul's essence. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just live from in here. How many know what our mission statement is? Unity of Greenville is a haven of peace. A haven of peace where everybody is loved and empowered through positive, practical spirituality to heal the belief in separation. Right? That's why we're here. Does that sound good to you? So that's principle number 2. There's more, but we'll get into that later. There's plenty of time, isn't there? I want to invite you to get comfortable right where you're at. Just take in a good breath and just relax for a moment. Let everything else go except for right here, right now. There will be a safe haven. There will be a safe haven. There will be a sweet haven of peace. Haven of peace. Sacred peace. And there will be a safe haven. There will be a safe haven. There will be a sweet haven of joy. Haven of joy. Sacred joy. You play it, Chris? There will be a safe haven. There will be a safe haven. There will be a sweet haven of love. Haven of love. Sacred love. If you're ready to close your eyes, just let your shoulders relax. Just scan your body now, and if there's any discomfort, if there's any part that just feels out of sorts, just put your attention on that part of your body. And just begin to let go. Let all the knots unwind. All the tension begin to fade away. Be aware of your breath, your sacred breath. You are more than your physical body. You exist on many levels. So breathe in now and become aware of your spirit. That beautiful, bright light, that brilliance that you truly are inside. There is a divine power that you can lean into, and you connect with it on the inside. It's always there. Maybe it's been at the background of your mind, the background of your life. I invite you just to center yourself and settle yourself in this moment and allow that sacredness to come forward. That beautiful spiritual energy. The very essence of life is with you now. And is in relationship to you, whether you know it or not, or realize it or not. The silent witness of your life, beholding you, is with you, surrounding you, in you, caring for you, is your friend. And so whatever you need this morning, I invite you to ask for it. If you need support in some way. Maybe you're going through a challenge right now. Maybe the world has taken a lot from you, and you feel like you're not getting a lot back. Ask for help. Maybe there's an addiction that you're dealing with. You need some help and support. Maybe you don't even want to admit it to yourself, but you know that there's something going on there. Ask for help. Maybe your relationship needs some help, strengthening, or maybe you've lost that spark. Ask for help. So let us breathe gently, easily now, knowing that we are safe in the arms of God. And that whatever's going on, everything's going to work out for the higher good if we just trust in that. If you know of someone that you'd like to pray for this morning, I invite you to whisper their names aloud at this time and just hold them in this moment of prayer. Just envision them whole, well, empowered, healthy, prosperous, loving. Let us pray the higher good for all this morning. The higher good. Sometimes we don't know what that means for somebody else, but we can affirm it. The higher good for all. And so today, in memory of the MLK Day, we give thanks for the work that was done, for the seeds that were planted to heal the divisions, to heal the beliefs in separation. We envision a world of peace that works for everybody, where everyone is loved and accepted, and everyone has opportunity. We affirm this, we believe this, and we are so grateful. And so now, for just a moment, I'll leave you in the quiet, in the stillness. so now. In the name of the Christ, in the name of the sacred and the holy and the good, we are grateful. Amen. So be it. And so it is. If you want to reach and stretch a little bit, yeah. Don't move too quick. Just kind of let the, spine readjust and get a spiritual spine adjustment this morning.
I don't know if it could be heard out here, but in my monitor, there was a little loop playing on the part of that meditation where you were going for the higher good or for the highest good.
Oh, is that
it
right?
just kept looping in my ear for the highest good, for the highest good.
I thought it was an important aspect.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Very
Beautiful.
cool.
Good stuff. Well, do we have anybody who's here for the first time? Is your first time here, anybody? So, I know I met some folks that were. Yeah. It's hard for me to see up here.
No hands are up.
All right. Well, we're glad that you're here. We're glad that you're all here. We are going to be having an orientation class on the 23rd, Unity Orientation, at 6:30. And if you would like to be a member of Unity, you feel like that you've been called to be here and be a part of this community, then we invite you to be part of that. I actually worked with a couple here that actually took the class, and Nick and Mariel, thank you. And looking forward to them being more and more part of our community. And we've got several that are joining, and we really appreciate it. If you can't make that day, just let me know, and we'll get together a time that you can. And we'll do it over Zoom or do it in person, whatever works for you, because we want to make sure that everybody that wants to be a member can be a member. Let's see, what else have we got here? Next week, Elizabeth Phelps will be doing a book sign. Raise your hand there. That's Elizabeth. She's written a wonderful book called Unlocking the Headache Mystery. And I've read through the book. It's really a good book. And so she'll be doing a book signing next week and a workshop that afternoon. So I want to let you know to make plans for that and to be ready for that. And I know that you'll really enjoy it. So thank you for sharing that, Elizabeth. Appreciate it. All right. So at this time, we're going to take a moment to receive our offering, and our ushers are ready to go. So we just want to say thank you for your giving. Thank you for your support. It really means a lot, okay? It makes a difference. And if you'd like to become a consistent giver, there are forms that you can fill out and do that. Whatever way that you want to give, whatever you choose to give, we appreciate it, okay? We appreciate it. It makes a difference. So let's say together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all I receive, and all that I am. All right.
And can you tell me where he's going?
freed a lot of people, but it seems good they die young. I just looked around and he's gone.
Has anybody here seen my old friend Martin? And can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seems the good they die young. 'Cause I just looked around and he's gone. Didn't you love the things they stood for? Didn't they try to find some good for you and me? And we'll be free someday soon. It's gonna be one day. Has anybody here seen my old friend Bobby? And can you tell me where he's gone? I thought I saw him walking up over the hill with Abraham, Martin, and John. He was with Abraham, Martin, and John.
All right. We're grateful for those that have come before, are we not? Let's all stand together. Appreciate you all being here today. Thank you so much. And hope that you have a great week. So let's say together our statement. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. For wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Enjoy yourselves and have a great week. Give somebody a high five or a hey you or hello there.